Yeah.
Yeah, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this webinar on cyber frauds, deep fake, and dark webs. Thank you, Vasanth, for joining us, and thank you, Amal, for putting this together. Before we hand over to Vasanth and to Amal to introduce Vasanth, I just want to make a very happy announcement to say that IIA India team has recently been recognized by IIA Inc., our global body, for its efforts in building awareness across the globe. So an IIA Global Building Awareness Championship was conferred on IIA India. It's a really proud moment for all of us, as you can see on your screen. And this is something that reflects the hard work of all the entire fraternity and all the supporters of IIA India and the governors and who have volunteered their time to make progress on the profession in India. So with that happy note, I'll hand over to Amal to take it forward and introduce our speaker today.
Thanks a lot, Bhavani. Thank you very much for your things. Really, today is a great day for all of us of IIA, so that we got the best award. And in fact, in last few years, we have the IIA reached to many professionals. Not only our audit fraternity, accounting fraternity, others also. And truly, it is a great knowledge sharing session. So in these knowledge sharing sessions today, we have with us a very excellent expert on cyber security, and he's Mr. Vasanth Garimella. He's Vasanth. He is basically a computer science engineer, but after engineering, he has done his CISA, CCSK, CDPSE, ISO 27001, and he has got lot of years and years of experience in bank in India, in abroad. So once this is my opportunity that I have heard him before on this subject. That's why I thought that we must allow our other members to hear him, so that such a difficult things are happening in our present time. We don't know who will be subject to fraud and will not be fraud, because cyber crimes, the criminals are everywhere. We don't know when. So let us make ourselves prepared to safeguard ourselves and to safeguard our companies and to safeguard our clients. And really, I am grateful to Vasanth. Just I have said him once, and immediately Vasanth, he very sportingly accepted our request. And Vasanth right now is a senior manager, security compliance, Cloud Forces Services Private Limited. Before through that, he was in Bank Dubai. Vasanth, kindly name those banks. Okay, so actually over to Vasanth. Okay, and after Vasanth's presentation, there will be a small poll, and then after that, I will be giving the vote of thanks. And thank you very much, Vasanth. Thank you very much, Bhavani, and all participants. Right now, over to Vasanth. Okay, thank you, Vasanth. Please.
Yeah, thank you, Amalji, for that warm introduction. First of all, I would like to congratulate IIA, for achieving the award, and also I would like to take this opportunity to thank IIA Bangalore for inviting me for speaking on the latest cyber frauds and deepfake and dark web. Thank you, Bhavani ji, and other board members for inviting me. And very good evening, all. I'm Vasanth Garimella. I'm certified in CISA, CDPSE, CCSK, CEH, ISO 27001. As Amanji was saying, I've worked around 11 years of experience I have, and I've worked in various banks in UAE, Strat Bank and National Bank of Rumal Kuwait, as myself as an internal auditor and as well as taking care of security as well. And currently I'm back in India and I'm working for Cloud Forces Services Private Limited as a senior manager in security compliance. In my company, security cloud services, it's Cloud Forces Services. It's completely about hyperscale managed services. That's what we provide. We are the golden partners of SAP, and we give a lot of services on cloud. So Today we will be discussing on what are the cyber frauds that are happening and kinds of frauds, and then understanding of what is a deepfake. That's a part of fraud itself, but it's a very huge subject. And what's a dark web? Okay, I'll just put off my video so that that will be better. Yeah. So as a precautionary, about the corona side. So please wash your hands regularly, stay home, wear your double mask, maintain the social distance, keep away, rather than touching each other's. Yeah. So today agenda, as I said, what are the types and the categories of cyber attacks, and what is a deep fake, why deep fake is a problem, then how do we identify as a deep fake, what's the dark web, history of dark web, and how to access that dark web, and how to be safe if we have access dark web. I'll be discussing more on an auditor's perspective, not technical, in-depth analysis and all. It's just sticking to the auditor's perspective because I myself have been an auditor, an internal auditor, and in information systems side mostly. And with my hobbies and interest in cybersecurity, I've worked like more on malware side, dissecting it and understanding what malware is, how it works. So that's what I used to do, and that interest made me to come into completely cybersecurity side. So when I started my career as in information security, one of my mentor always used to tell me, for every lock, there is someone out there, who trying to pick it or break into it. There is somebody, who's trying to access your data or your information, whatever is there with you. He'll try to come into it, and to secure that, particular information, we try to add a lot of, we bring a lot of awareness, and we bring a lot of support, like subject matter expertise, all will come into it. That's this particular code has helped me a lot to understand what exactly the security is all about. So why should we be worried about when we are working on online or on a digital platform? Why we should be worried? Theft is becoming more and more increasingly digital. Now the theft is becoming more and more increasingly digital. Now people are moving to AI and the robotics side. Even the hackers are getting into that level, and and we need to be worried about our identity, because there are cases where identity theft is getting stronger and stronger day by day. Then we need to be worried about our accounts and others, credit cards, and whatever the information that carries that has a value for that, right? And coming to your organization part, your data is more valued than the data of what we have. That is very expensive for an organization, and even those are getting people are trying to trying to take that data away from us, and selling it into the dark web and the dark markets, right? So these are the things that we all, when we are in online or in the digital platforms, we always are worried about, right? So yeah. So before getting into it, I would just like to make you a brief understanding on what is hacking and what are the types of hacking. See, hacking is something where a person tries to identify your weaknesses. He tries to exploit the weaknesses in your computers, right? That's what he tries, and gains the network access and take advantage of your entire system, right? And there are multiple types of hackers, who are there in the outside the market. Like we have ethical hacker, who's a white hat we call them. These guys really help us to understand and fix the weaknesses in our systems. Mostly our SOC team or our information security guys will be there. Then you have black hat, whom we call them as crackers. These guys try to gain unauthorized access. They take for the personal gains. They take everything from you, and they start blackmailing us. That's what they do. Then we have gray hat. these guys are between ethical and as well as black hat. So what these guys generally do is they try to do a bug bounty, bug hunting into your systems. And once they find the weaknesses, vulnerabilities, they would send an email stating either you provide me an award or or you pay me, or else I'll just put them into the black market. So that's how they play around, right? Then you have script kiddies. Script kiddies are the people, are the guys I can say who are the students and who are very new to the hacking part. There are a couple of softwares available across the market. So these guys just take that and they start working on that. So these are non-skilled programmers, I can say. Then we have activists. Activists are the people, you might have heard about organizations like Anonymous and Lazarus are the other groups, who try to attack, the governments, and they try to, send social or religious messages to the people across the globe or to the places wherever required. Then we have freakers. These guys, they try to find the exploit weaknesses in our telephones instead of computers, right? So what are the major categories that cyber crime falls into? We keep on hearing, cyber crimes that are happening across, but what are the categories that these crimes fall into? So one is property. Property is like a real life instances where criminal illegally possess an individual's bank or credit card details. That's where he tries to steal things and and try to gain access for that. And individual is something, it's like cyber stalking. He will get into your Facebook, Instagram, and he'll try to, it's kind of cyber bullying, I can say, right? So, and then you have government side, and governments are pretty different. Like when it comes to government attacks, mostly it happens either through, we also call them as cyber terrorism, where other countries who are trying to, like for example, in 2019 and 2020, China has did a lot of, DDoS attacks on our country, on our military websites and on our other, major important websites like DRDO and all, So these are the three major kinds, major categories that cybercrime falls into. Any attack that are happening, it will be one of these three areas. So let's get into the statistics so that, before getting into the trends, I would just like to take you through the statistics of 2021 and whatever the attacks that have happened. The global malware attacks, Emotet, and that is related to the banking software, where it's a banking Trojan software where, most of the time, this particular malware was used for attacks, right? So that's still going on high. And if you see top web attacks, web attack is something that, when we try to look for a document or when we try to click on something, so that's how your viruses, you're allowing a virus to download into your system. So there are a couple of exe files, and you have PDF files. PDF is a very major one. That's where, your ransomwares are hidden. So whenever you guys download a PDF, please ensure that these PDFs are from a secured website. That website, and then you click on it, or else you're allowing a ransomware to come into your system. Please be careful in that. Then top email attacks. See, email attacks, couple of departments have to be very careful. For example, HR. HR is the area where they will be receiving a lot of resumes, and the doc contains the macros, right? You might have heard about macros. Macros will have a lot of logical bombs in that, so there might be links, and the library files can be written in that. That's what we call it as DLLs. So even in the email attacks, documents, that is a Word document, stands number one. And we have our exe files. Exe files are used using steganography concept. Steganography is something like I put a picture, and behind a picture, there is a link or there is a code written, predefined. Even there are systems that are not able to identify this. And as usual, PDF, Excels, we keep on receiving it, and these have a lot of malicious content in that. And coming to the top cyber attacks, ransomware has gone up recently, past week, and crypto miners, they are booming a lot. Like crypto jacking, they are just getting into the systems, and through our systems, they are trying to mining the cryptons. And botnets are completely robotic related. Command and control concept is used here. That means they take the remote and then they do the attacks, right? So those were the stats. And when it comes to the distribution of protocols, emails have around 68% attacks have been successful and 32% to the web. And like I said, for the top banking Trojan, we have been using Emotet as playing across. Let me showcase you one of the sample cyber attacks that are happening as of now. Let's see what is going across the globe. Let me just click this. Please do let me know if you are able to see the screen of just give me a second, guys. I'm trying to open a website. Okay, fine. Yeah, I hope this is visible to all. So these are the current trends. The attacks are happening across the globe. As of now, more than 20,000, 20,000 attacks happen in one single time, right? And you can see a lot of attacks are happening from US to Israel or Taiwan or India. Let's see what India says on today's attack. What is the major malware trends? See, as I was saying, banking trojans, that is your Emotet and ransomware kind of thing, malwares are going a bit high, and botnets are being used a lot. Then crypto miners. So these are the current Indian trend malware type attacks that are happening to our country, right? So this is a map, a threat map, where you can have a look, and you can see what exactly is happening across the globe, right? So coming back to the, sorry about this. Yeah. Yeah. So as we have seen that a lot of attacks are happening, and these are mostly through phishings that happen, right? And let's understand what are the common factors for a cyber attack or a breach. So what mostly the current scenario, if you see, it is because of a possible insider threat. It is in the global understanding. They have said, in the recent research, they have said that 70% of the attacks happen due to the internal, insider threat. See, intentionally or unintentionally, people do mistakes. They may click on a file that helps them to execute the malwares, right? That's where all these like ransomware, or like your data is getting passed, or redirecting entire remote access control you're giving to a person. That's what we call it as rat. So this is one area that is a possible insider threat, 70%. That still stands the same. And then you have employee email access, unknown attack vectors, and credential compromises. Credential compromises, for example, if you have seen the recent, the cyber attack on SolarWinds, they have given a hard-coded password in their code, and it was being pasted in the third party. So that's how credential compromises are happening as of now. And writing our names on the board, passwords, and maintaining the same password across all the applications. So this is one major areas where people are trying to getting into the systems, and they have a dictionary of passwords. Like every year 10,000 passwords are being with the hackers. So they just do a random checks. They just type a username admin and they start hitting the password, whatever they can, whatever they have with them. And as I said, types of attacks, again, you have malware. In frauds, you have social engineering, then you have phishing. Within social engineering, you have phishing, then you have smishing, wishing, CEO frauds, business email campaigns, these are there. And then you have identity theft. SaaS is a cybercrime as service. This is the latest trend that they have started now. Cyber crime as services. And starting with malware, I'm not going in depth of making you understand what is a malware and all. No, let's stick to the basic ransomware side. So before getting into it, we need to understand. You may ask me, okay, Vasanth, what if I'm being hacked, or what if my systems have been infected? How will I know that my systems are infected? See, there are around 15 patterns or signs where we can say that your systems are being hacked or infected, right? First one, it's straightforward that you will get a ransomware message. That means complete screen is encrypted, right? Then second one is your antivirus, fake antivirus messages. You may have McAfee or something, but something else is popping up. Third is unwanted browser toolbars. There are a couple of browsers. If you see your mostly it happens in Internet Explorer or in Mozilla. When you open it, you will see unwanted toolbars, right, which you have not installed. Fourth, internet searches are redirected. A proper example I can give, because I've been infected with this particular thing. Whenever I type something, it redirects me to the page, to that particular infected page. Wherever, every time I type something, it goes to that page. So I was forced to completely remove the entire C drive, and again I have updated the system. Then frequent random pop-ups you see. Then you may, your friend will receive a social media invitation that you have not sent. Either you keep on hearing, somebody says, guy, I have received, boss, I have received your invitation again. Have you sent me this? So that means somebody has, either he has spoofed your social media, or he might have hacked you. Your online passwords aren't working. There might be cases where you might have used public Wi-Fi, which can be a fake public Wi-Fi. So there your credentials might have been compromised, right? And unexpected software installs will be there in your systems. So whenever you visit a site which is not secured, definitely you're allowing a malware to come inside. So if a malware is there, definitely unexpected softwares will get installed automatically. Then your mouse selections. Now this is another one. It is a very funny one. Like generally we click on left and everything opens, but here everything gets reversed. So whatever the selection part you take, it gets changed completely. Your click will become opposite side of what you use actually, right? And your task manager. This is pretty bad one. This should not happen actually. But when your systems are hacked or infected, your task manager never works. That's one area you have to be very worried about, right? And your online account is missing money. Suddenly you get a message stating that some money has been transferred, or they have paid for some e-commerce website. They might have used, right? And someone has been notified that you have been hacked, or your confidential data has been leaked, and or your credentials are in password dump. Like what I said earlier, there are a couple of a bunch of dictionary kind of thing where a hacker maintains his passwords with them. So that's where you might have given your password in that. Most people have very bad habit of giving very simple plain passwords. So they have a pattern with them. So please understand, it's not a very big deal to get into your systems if you have very easy passwords. And observe very strange network patterns. So this is pretty technical stuff, right? Where your network patterns would keep on changing. So these are the signs, when you've been hacked or infected, right? Now let's understand a ransomware. Can somebody please tell me what exactly you mean by a ransomware? I guess somebody can put a chart or anything. What doesn't come into your mind when you say ransomware? Okay, ransomware, it is about data kidnapping. Okay, that means somebody has hacked into your system and he has kidnapped your data. Now he will demand for money here. He may demand for money, or he may ask something else apart from that, right? There have been a couple of different types of ransomwares that are going across the globe, and the first one is the Mace. This is a kind of a ransomware where it was used for the approach for attacking the publishers, the sensitive your sensitive information. Then you have Revile. Revile was very famous for attacking the A-list celebrities like Robert De Niro, Drake, Rod Stewart, Elton John, these many others. Their files were compromised completely. All the legal documents and the Bitcoin, they have requested for a huge amount of money for that. Then Rook is another malware that infects your system. It tries to access your system. And the worst part is it uses a logic, the algorithm that is RSA, and that is very difficult to break, to decrypt it actually. Then you have Tycoon. Tycoon, this particular ransomware stays hidden always. It's very difficult to identify and delete it. And networkers. Networkers are the recent ransomwares that will encrypt the entire, the devices, and they, then it gets executed with the embedded configurations. Whatever you try to open it, it gets embedded with that, and everything is completely freezed, right? So what happens is when you receive a ransomware, right? So here, this is how a ransomware sample looks like. So if you see, your system would be completely on the screen, and he will give you a hash stating that this is our account and pay me 150 worth Bitcoin. So Bitcoin $150 means around, it would be around 0.20 or something. That's the Bitcoin there, and they will ask you to pay for that. Have you ever wondered why they attack a particular companies where they know, yes, if I success, they pay me? How do a hacker knows that if I attack this particular company, okay, I know they will pay me? A recent research has, they identified when they started speaking to the hackers, they came to know that these guys simply visit to cyber insurance companies. They see the list of all the clients who are there, and based on that, they start attacking on the company, the companies wherever the insurance are mentioned. So they know very well that if I attack this particular company, I would definitely get the money. So just imagine how the hackers are thinking in a simplistic manner, but very powerful ones. Now, has an internal auditor's role here, right? Now, you being an internal auditor role, when there is an attack happened, as an auditor's role, I say that nothing much will be there apart from reviewing your, the awareness part, then checking the incident management policies, how it is there, and understanding the root cause. That's where after the attack, I'm saying, okay. But for preventing it, as an internal audit, it is our responsibility to ensure that the organization is maintaining a good cyber hygiene practices. That is, like I was saying, not to maintain the same password, then have change your passwords every 30 days, patch your systems on time, do not click on the links, and most important thing of all is education and the information security awareness. As per the Google, they have informed that for the next decade there will be no phishing attacks as per them, and no password attacks. But this will happen only if we start educating everyone, right? So please educate, please check your information security awareness program, how they are doing it, how the how the what kind of slides they have, whether they are maintained, whether they have added the recent examples, and how they are doing the test, how like on phishing. Ensure that the phishing tests are happening a lot in your organization, so that you will know your organization is more secure. Because see, there are cases, even after giving security awarenesses and everything, still people will click on links because of the job what we have. Like we have a lot of pressure sitting at home and we are working, and sitting at home, working remotely, it leads to a lot of chaos as well, because you are not being taught. You never knew who's sending you email, because the emails are getting spoofed. And at least if you're sitting at office, if you receive something and ask your the next employee sitting next to you, saying it, boss, I have received the email, is this genuine or not? At least he can help you out. But as of you're sitting at your home, that means you're the CISO of your own house, right? That's how you have to think, research. So always look the program of information security awareness, okay, how they are doing it, how they are explaining them, and do a small assessment. You guys call your staff, check with them, what if a phishing has happened, whom you're calling, what if there's a malware, whom you're calling. So these kind of testing should happen from internal audit as well, so that awareness, you can say that yes, there is awareness that is happening properly. Okay, know your insurance coverage for cyber attacks, and we need to always know who is our insurance, cyber insurance, who's going to pay and everything. Then understand your data security measures. Always ensure that whatever the data security measures are there, you have everything with you properly. Like for example, hardening of your servers, that is like if, for example, if I received something, a new system into my company, right, a new appliance or a server, it is coming into my company, whether I have changed the first time, whether I've changed the password or not of the particular admin, then for the accountability perspective, whether I have removed the generic user ID and gave the roles or responsibilities to the network domain IDs, then whether I performed a vulnerability assessment on that new systems or not. So these kind of things should happen. Ensure, check the patch management, vulnerability assessment, how they are doing it, and check your firewalls, whether they have been upgraded on every time to time or not. Okay, most important, your antivirus, that should be updated every time, right? And develop an incident response mindset. So as an auditor, this should be there for us, like incident response mindset should be there. Then consider the materiality and educate everyone about the ransom attacks, right? We need to educate them. Yeah. So coming to the social engineering, this is another type of frauds that are happening at a high level these current days, because you might have seen a lot of times COVID-19 related information you might have received, but you never knew whether that is genuine or not, right? So there are a couple of things that we need to understand here. Most of you might have gone through these things: phishing, spear phishing, smishing, sorry, SIM swap, money mule, right? You might have gone through these terminologies already. Let me just swim through that, what exactly these things are. Okay, phishing is a fraudulent attempt that sensitive information they try to gain you. In a bulk, they send the information to all, right? In a bulk, they send it, right? It goes to each and every one across the organizations, not only one, different organizations. It goes. They might say, okay, click on this. They may ask for your username, password, credit card details. Phishing here, there would be two kinds. One is email, another one is websites. Your website can be phished. Remember that. They may create a spoof website, right, which will not have HTTPS, which may have a slight change in your when you compare your company's website name, domain name with the phished ones. It will be a slight difference in the name. You can check there. Okay, so that's how you need to identify it. So people will give all the details in there. That's one area where they can get the details, entire sensitive details. And coming to spear phishing. Spear phishing is a highly targeted. That means they get into LinkedIn, Facebook, your Instagram, and then they start reading about you, understand about you, see who your friends are, who your relatives are, what kind of work nature you are in, and based on that, they prepare a strategy. They groom everything. That's what information gathering is all about. And once they gather everything, then they start sending you emails stating that as an invoice, or they may say please pay this invoice, or they may say, okay, can you be my friend? And once you become a friend with them, slowly after a couple of days, they'll start asking you confidential information of your company. So that's how the spear phishing would be. Phishing is a voice phishing, is a form of criminal phone fraud. Generally, it happens. They call us. You might have received a lot. In India, sitting at Hyderabad, I've seen a lot of calls I would be getting on daily basis, right? And related to that I won something, or I've been, my loan has been approved, or one person has asked me about the OTP as well. All these things would happen with the phishing. Then SMS phishing is something. Even this is a new kind of phishing that is happening for the past few years now. People are sending the links directly into your phone, and you would be getting the information on that. If you click, then you will be redirected to a particular website where they will be asking you for a particular sensitive information, or you are allowing a particular malware to getting downloaded into your systems, right? SimSwap and MoneyMule are very well used for your banking frauds, right? For your banking frauds, phishing. For your banking frauds, I believe voice phishing, SMS phishing, SwimSwap, and MoneyMule are used, highly used, right? When it comes to voice phishing, I wanted to give you my own experience. When I was in UAE, one of my friend, he came to UAE for the first time, and he was looking for a job. And by the time he came to UAE, in the span of 1 week, he received a call from police stating that that his visa is been expired, and he came in the wrong manner to the country, and they asked him to pay some amount, around 5,000 dirhams, I believe. And he was very much worried. Actually, he didn't know how this call came, and he gave all the details right. That the police was able to, the person who was there at the other end was able to give every detail, every minute detail of his was perfect. His visa status, his passport number, his visa number, his phone number, his complete full name, father's name, everything was there. And this guy was worried, and he gave me a call and he asked, "Vasanth, can you just help me out? I've been receiving this." So luckily it was in the evening. I came to home and he was there with me. Then again that person called, and that's where when he said one particular word, that's where I understood that that this guy is trying to steal the money from us. What he said is, "Do not tell anyone that I'm calling for the police." First thing is, if my visa issue is there, then it's not a police thing. It is the issue of immigration. They must have called us, but it is the police who. That's what he told us, right? And when we started asking questions, he cut the call. Then I started wondering, how come the person has known that this much of data about a person who's been in the country just like a week ago, right? Then we started looking into the things. Then I found that in UAE, when you come, you have a very bad habit of updating your CVs in websites like Naukri Gulf, Monster Gulf. Then there are other ones like Bad.com and all, where this guy has given his passport number, visa status, everything in that. So just imagine, the other person who was trying to, scam us, he just went into the profile, he downloaded it, he went through it, he gave us a call. And if just imagine if we couldn't identify it, we would have lost that money, right? And he would have asked more and more at the time, right? So we have to be very careful while we receive these kind of calls, right? Now, coming to the three basic elements of the fraud. So here the fraudsters secure an internet domain, like I was saying, right? Phishing. This is kind of a phishing that happening across the companies. Always do check. As an internal auditor, we need to even do a sample testing of our company website. Just have a random test you do. You would definitely find, the domain which looks like our same, our company's name, right? So that is the reason what people do, what companies do is they hire a brand monitoring team. There is something called brand monitoring. So that means, let's say if I'm from Cloud4C, okay, what I do is I would hire a brand monitoring. That means if somebody else is trying to spoof a website, I have, the brand monitoring team would go and catch them, right? That's how it works. That's what the brand monitoring does, right? Scammers will research publicly available information, like I was saying, spear phishing. This is what it is. They would go into your LinkedIn, they would read about you, then from the LinkedIn they would go to Facebook. From Facebook they may visit to other social media places, and also your portals where you upload about your information. That's how they do the analytics, and they understand what is your role, what is your responsibilities, and what you are actually in a company, right? And there would be other kind of fraud, that is your social engineering. That means they give you a call, or they may send you an email. They may try to loop you in, right? That's how you give your information, right? So let's understand what is business email compromise. This is growing a lot in current scenarios. You keep on hearing recently the solar wind attacks who have performed that is nobelium. It's a chemical name actually, so they have used it, right? So these people have started campaigning, launch stating US aid. That's what they are using as an email. That particular email has a attachment, HTML attachment, which smuggles the the actual malware into the systems. That's what as of now they are doing it. So what is business email compromise? It is also known as email account compromise. This is one of the most financially damaging online crimes, right? It exploits the fact that so many of us rely on an email conducted business, both professional and as well as personal, right? In this particular scam, the criminal sends an email, message stating that it appears from making, it looks like that it is coming from a known source and legitimate request it is, right? It might be a vendor stating that, who we deal regularly with them, we have updated our voice. This is our new account number. This is our new email ID. So please respond to this particular email ID and send us the rest amount, whatever is there, to this particular account. Or a company CEO asks his assistant to purchase dozens of gift cards and send it to employees, or he may ask to send the particular do a wire transfer directly to us, or a home buyer receives a message from a title company, with the instruction, you have received so gift, so please send us the money to the wire, right? That's what these kind of things are happening a lot in the market now. So what are the steps they take is they first identify the target, right? This is something called ATT, that is technique and tactics they use here. The technique would be like gathering the information, and they would read about you, they would understand, and that they would exchange the information between you and here, and both the parties will exchange the information, and if everything goes well, then the wire transfer will happen. Here it is not only about the money, it is also about the installing a malware into your systems, right? If I install a malware into your system, that's more than enough for me. Automatically the money would come to me, because I would ensure that I'm blocking everything access to your systems, and I'm taking the money from you, right? And this is a new one that is happening a lot these days, that is CEO fraud, right? In the name of CEO, a lot of frauds are happening. You may ask me, you may have heard about whaling attack, right? A lot of whaling attacks you may heard. If you have been to different information security awareness programs or other seminars, you might have heard about in phishing and as well as whaling as well. Whaling is the place where you would attack a higher management, C-suite level management. But here, CEO fraud is where you act as a CEO or you act as a company executive, right? You would send a mail, like for example, you can see your Outlook email for your reference I've attached. Sam Jones is a CEO. He has sent a mail to Cat Taylor stating that you're working from home, and I have a meeting with a finance guy. Okay, it looks like that you have not paid any amount to anyone. Sorry guys, I don't know why it's going back. So please pay the amount immediately to the below account numbers, right? So this is how email has came to a particular bank, right? And just see if what would happen if they release the amount, right? So we have to be very vigilant when we are doing these kind of things. So what to do when you receive such kind of emails, right, from your CEO or anyone? Just check with your first thing, check the email ID. If you see the email ID here, it is actually, if you see the signature, it says ABC Bank, but here when you check the email ID, it says abdbank.com, right? That means number one, the catch is here, abdbank.com. Number two, here it is account number. Why an account number has been changed, right? So these are the things where you should ask, okay, why the email ID is different, account number is different, right? And why a CEO is asking me directly to pay it, right? Now you need to check with your secretary of CEO or CEO itself directly. Just give him a call and check, is that you who has sent me an email? So that will solve half of the problem here, right? So these kind of things are happening a lot, right? If you check the red flags here, first one, as I said, sender's email address is completely different, and domain impersonation, like I was saying, this is what the CEO frauds are about. Sense of urgency, this is where another area where you keep on receiving a lot. Either they say pay the invoice, and urgency, pay it or you may lose it. So these kind of subjects are used a lot, right? And authoritative tone, please pay immediately. See, once our CEO says pay it, then definitely you will pay, right? Because that's what our bosses are. They are powerful and they say whatever they say, we have to do it, right? That's what it is. Then playing on the target's trust, like writing on this, like I'm counting on you, get it done. That means they're trusting. They're saying that I'm trusting you completely, get it done, right? That's what it is. That's how you can, looking at an email, please check these kind of things. If somebody sends you an email, please look at the email IDs, look at the subject line, what it says, and the account numbers, and the signature. And read a bit so that you can understand the there would be spelling mistakes, and these things will be there. Very easily you can identify phishing emails, right? This is kind of phishing email, I can say, right? So what would happen if a CEO fraud is successful, right? What can happen? See, a fraudster can send you an email saying that urgent transfer, or he can send it to CFO, or he can send it to any HR people, right? And there are chances that, okay, I better get this payment done. And if he's a CFO, he says, okay, I'm getting it from CEO, let me handle it, I'll take care of it. Then if it is to HR, they'll say, okay, this is very important, let me send this right away to him, right? Then all the details, they have been sent to the fraudsters, right? So what would be the result when if it is successful? Your money is gone forever, right? Most of the cases, only 4% of the time it can be recovered, right? But here the disadvantage would be your CEO or CFO can be fired, or there would be a lawsuits against you, and the company's reputation and these things will come down definitely when it goes into the public. These issues would definitely come out, right? That's what it is. So always think before you click on something and send information to somebody else, right? So what are the important steps you take when these kind of things are happening in an organization? As an auditor, what we need to do? So we need to place a system where verify the large and non-routine wire transfers are happening ideally via phone. Check, call and check, I have received something, and is it true or not, so that you can verify it. And have a multi-factor authentication. Ensure employees are maintaining strong passwords and they are changing them regularly. And buy a domain in your company's brand name to prevent impersonation. Like, for example, if you GoDaddy, if you go to GoDaddy or Komodos, these are the places where you can purchase your domain name, right? All the companies do that, and all the companies are having they are purchasing their domain names. That's the reason you have that HTTPS secured sites. That's how you're being paid for that. You're paying that, right? Closely monitor your financial accounts. You might have irregularities, somewhere missing deposits or anything. Deploy an email security solutions, like DMARC, domain-based message authentication, where this prevents domain spoofing. There's something called DMARC SPF, that is senders framework. Where the emails can easily be dropped if at your company's firewall itself. If it is a spoof email, it will get dropped at the company's firewall itself. So DMARC will really help your company a lot. Okay. So what are the common 5 common attack scenarios we have? Business working with a foreign supplier. There might be cases if you have a long-standing, a supplier sitting across over the seas, and he is helping you out to do. There might be, what if his account is being, hacked, right? and he's been sending you emails and you're trying to pay him the money, right? So that is one area you have to be very careful. And business receiving or initiating a wire transfer request, right? And business contacts receiving fraudulent correspondence, executive attorney or impersonation like CEO frauds. This is one example. Data theft. This is happening a lot nowadays. We have a very bad habit of giving our information in our CVs and going to a particular shops or jewelry shops or anywhere. We give our numbers, name, address, numbers, phone numbers. That's where they get the information. And if any uh, malls you're going, you would be getting a vouchers, and all these things will be there where you write your names and everything. That's where all the hackers, or the people will get your information from that actually. And the worst part is, if your phone number is the same, the phone number what you give in the voucher is same as your banking account, and that's a very big headache you will be having. So always ensure that your phone numbers what you mention outside is always different from your your banking applications, or the registered mobile number. I can say that's the right way. Registered mobile number should be different than the what you give outside, right? A couple of banking frauds. So let me skip it as fast as possible. You have swim swap, then you have wishing, then you have smishing, then you have money mule. So these are the online banking frauds that are happening. Everyone are aware of it. They are just calling people. They are trying to take money. They are asking for the OTPs. So as an auditor here, we need to ensure that we are giving. If you are from banking, especially if you are from banking, check the staff, especially the customers who are presenting the staff, when they are giving the card, whether they are telling them very clearly or not. Check whether the particular trainings are being given to the tellers or to the branch manager. Are they giving a proper education to the customers or not? That is very important. So that must be checked. And also we need to whenever we go for a branch visit or anything, check whether these things are being told to just like a sample check. You can see whether whenever we are giving a credit card or a debit, whenever we are giving a debit card to a customer, whether these things are being told to him or not, right? So these things should be there. As an auditor, we need to check, right, to minimize the banking frauds. Okay. And most important thing, you all are from finance side, I believe. So it's always suggestible to use credit card than a debit card. Because debit card, it's very easy to steal your money, and you may not get the money back. But whereas credit card, yes, they have base one and base two kind of thing where we can pull the money back, right? If I have seen in Visa how it works. There are two stages where the money flows. So there are chances that you can get the money back. And the current fraud trends has in 2021: tax refund fraud, cooperative account takeovers, theft and personal data, intellectual property threat. And most importantly is people are trying to impersonate, or identity theft are happening. So if identity theft is happening, what is the major causes? Benefits from the government. They are trying to take the benefit from the government. Whatever they're coming, they are trying to take that, because our Aadhaar cards will have phone numbers, and they are trying to get the OTP for that. And once they get the OTP, definitely they will try to gain the access on your systems, or not on your systems, on your accounts and everything. So they may take the benefits, whatever the benefits you get, they may receive it. Especially this happens for the people who are receiving the the pensions. So those are getting diverted these days a lot, right? Then a lot of credit card frauds are happening. Then banking frauds, like I was saying. Employment frauds are on high because of this COVID situation. People are finding ways to earn money. So this is one way to earn money. Loan applications in the name of loans. This is one way. People try to be careful when you go to a Xerox machine shops or anywhere. When you give something, any of your document, ensure that they are not taking extra copy of that, because if they do that, they may sell that particular data to somebody else. Ensure always that the number of copies what you tell, they are taking only that, right? I know it is not possible, but as a precautionary, we need to take care of ourselves, right? So that is one area where your data may go out, right? And coming to distributed denial of service. So this is a DDoS attack, and I just the time is running through, so let me take you through it. What is a DDoS attack? See, DDoS attack is, earlier it was only denial of service, only a one system to system was happening. Now it is like a distributed denial of service. Like for example, I'm a person sitting here, I would infect around 30 to 40 systems sitting at home, and I would target one particular company, and I would say, let me bring this down, right? Somebody may pay me, or or I may have something with that particular company, or I may ask money for that. So what I do, I'll say, okay, on this particular day, I know that they are going to have, let's say, a particular e-commerce is going to have a mega sale, right? Now, as a competitor, I don't want that to happen. So what I'll do, I'll hire somebody, I'll say, okay, let's do an attack on that so that, the reputation would come down so that my company name would go up. That's how, I'm just giving you an example. That's how the things are happening at these stages, right? So I would infect around 20 to 30 systems. I would create an army of targeted systems, and on that particular day, I'll send packets around gigabytes or a zillion bytes. It would go, right? So what would happen is when it starts hitting to my server cannot handle that, right? If my server is not able to handle that particular huge data, it will come down. So once the systems are down, the user cannot access it. That's what distributed denial services are for, right? A famous example was, as I said earlier, like China, when the things were escalating between China and India, a lot of DDoS attacks were happening across the borders, right? Other sample example, let me see if it is working. Okay, this video, I don't know why it is not working in Pro meetings. Generally, it comes up in Zoom and other team meetings. That's fine. So what happens is a particular packet would go and hit on a particular systems. That's what China has tried to do on Indian government agencies and other banks. That they have been reported that we have been attacked on DDoS side, right? And coming to the next one, that is cyber crime as service. We have been hearing platform as service, software as service, infrastructure as service. This is something new. We call it as cyber crime as service. You will find these days it has the cyber crime has become so organized that they have started hiring people in dark web in the market. There is a form where you need to just go and fill it, and they say, okay, they will just do a test. If you're good, you have been hired, and they'll say, okay, this is your project. So that's how syndicate is working now, right? And you can just see there is a menu prepared for hacking group, and all the attacks are being paid in the ransoms are always paid in bitcoins, right? So that they will never knew who is the person who has received the amount, right? That's the reason they always use. So you can see the menu here. They have different kinds of money and how much they charge for attack, right? For example, 24-hour DDoS, so they are charging around $460. Social media hacking, $64. Actually, it has gone to around $10 to $20. The reason is Facebook, Twitter, Google, they have secured so much that it is getting very difficult to do a cyber attack on these companies. So the only way they are doing is through social engineering. They are on a particular account. They are calling a person. They are trying to gain the access. That's how they are attacking. They are not able to do it on earlier. They used to do misconfigurations, or they used to find the vulnerabilities and they used to attack. But now it is getting very difficult for them. The reason is certain companies are going and hiring a people like who are doing a bug bounties, right? Whoever is doing a bug bounty, so they are preparing a honeypot kind of thing. They are giving the particular area, and those people are going there and doing all the penetration testing, vulnerabilities. Like I said, gray hackers, right? All these people are doing or are being given rewards. If they identify something, they have been given rewards. And recently, an Indian boy was given reward of 45 lakhs or something. If you might have heard in the news, right? That's what it is. If you find a vulnerability, we call it as bug bounty. So they pay you for that, right? And you can also see like how hackers earn. If it is a banking Trojan, $3,000, and you would make profit around $72,000. And data encryption, if you encrypt it, that's what ransomware is, $20,000. And this is how they earn the profits, right? So this is what cybercrime as services. They give entire services. You can just hire them. You can say this is what I need, so they will help you out, right? And a sample case study of Bank of Bangladesh. The reason why I've taken this is a classic example of not giving a proper awareness on information security, lack of patches, and lack of hardening on your servers, employers clicking on phishing emails, right? This is a classic example. I suggest that please visit the do a have a look what exactly has happened in 2015. Let me just take you through very fast. In 2015, 4 accounts were being opened in RCBC Bank in Philippines, and this account was went into dormant. 9 months later, there was a phishing attack happening across the world, and Central Bank of Bangladesh, one of the employer received an employer received an email that contained a malware, and the employer clicked on that link. Link got downloaded, and the hackers saw that this link was being installed. They have monitored for more than a month. They have monitored the way the bank was working, and they have monitored the way the people were there. They're locking the system, they're opening the systems. That's how they have monitored for a month. And on a particular day, I believe on February 2016, February 6th, February 14th February 2016, they have started attacking on the central bank, and they have used Swift, and they have made around 35 orders, worth 951 million transactions. And they successfully, out of 35, only 4 transactions were went through. That is around 81 million they have received. The reason what happened to the rest 31 is the attack happened on Friday. Friday was holiday in Bangladesh, and on Saturday, Sunday, Saturday was leave, nobody was there, and Sunday the bank started working, and by the time they came to the bank, they started seeing that the printer was not working, and when they called their IT guy, when he troubleshooted the printer, suddenly around 35 orders started printing. Swift, always when we perform a Swift transactions, you would get a receipt kind of thing, right? We take a printout of it and we do a reconciliation at the end of the day, right? That's what. So what happened here is their systems were not working. They had a technical issue in the printer, so they couldn't do anything. When they came on Sunday, when they saw that 35 orders, suspicious order were happened, and immediately they contacted the main source, that is in US, a New York bank. They have informed that there's been a suspicious transaction. Can you stop it? Since it was Sunday, they couldn't do anything. But on Monday, when they saw around 31 transactions, they were able to stop. But the 4 transactions were successful, and the money 81 million was sent to these 4 accounts which they have opened in Philippines, right? And what they have done, they went there, they have taken the money, entire for 81 million were taken. They went to Macau, and Macau is a place where you can change the black money to white, and they left. And when the red team has came and they have started investigating, they came to know that the 4 members were from North Korea. They came and they took the money, they have changed everything in Macau, and they left, right? That's what has happened. Now here, what are the takeovers? Employee clicking on a phishing email, lack of awareness on the security trainings, lack of hardening on your servers, not following the security compliances of an organization, not reporting the technical issues to the IT or your security teams. On time, you should always report everything. If you have an issue, report to your IT team immediately or to your security team, right? So this is a classic example for all of us to understand the importance of the security awareness. Why it is, why you need to give a lot of awareness to the staff. Why you need to have hardening of service. Why you need to always patch your systems on time, right? Rather than delaying it, right? Yeah. So here are the 8 pillars of cybersecurity controls. So whenever you go for audit, ensure that you are checking these 8 pillars. Actually, we say, okay, information security, 3 pillars, confidentiality, integrity, and availability, right? These are the 3 main things. But when it comes to security controls, right, these are the 8 pillars. So we have divided into 3 segments. First segment is preventing a malware delivery and execution, right? you're preventing a malware to get installed into your systems and get executed. Application control. First one is application control. That means application whitelisting. For example, your application control here means you're ensuring that unwanted or unauthorized programs are not getting executed in your system, right? That's what it is. For example, you have McAfee. McAfee will always, McAfee or any other antiviruses, how it works is there are signatures in that, predefined signatures have been written, right? Whatever is happening across the globe, what these people do is they write a program, they write a signature, and they add it. They prepare a hash for that signature, they push it to your systems. That's what we get it as updations. Every time every week or every day, please update your antivirus. That's the company always says, right? Once you update your system, so whenever, if a particular attack is happening or a malware is coming into your system, if it has crossed all the firewalls and everything, but your antivirus is still there to protect you, right? So once it is yours, once it is in your system, your antivirus will pop up and it will start, based on the hash value of that particular program and the hash value of your antivirus, if it matches, this is called a signature based, right? So it will delete it immediately. So that is what application whitelisting is. Application whitelisting will have DLP as well and other things, but the major thing is to stop a malware getting executed in your system. Then you have patch applications. See here, there is a difference: patch operations and patch applications. Patch application means your Google Chrome, Flash, Adobe Flash. You keep on getting it. Please update your Adobe Flash. Please update your Google Chrome. So you need to, and your Java, always update these. Excuse me. Always update these or patch. Whenever you get a patch on these, please always update that. Okay. Configuring Microsoft macro settings. This is the major thing that a lot of attacks are happening using your macros, right? Always, please be careful as an auditor. If you see that somebody has wrote a macro, ask them, have you got a permission? Have you checked with your information security team about the approvals? You never knew what library files you have used. See, macros, whenever we write a macro, we are calling a library into the library is something that predefined programs will be written in a library. So you're calling that library and you're keeping it in your code, right? That's what macro is. Now you need to check whether that library is a third-party library or is it our own library. So for that, always, if you identify this macro, please check with your information security team. Ask them whether the person who has wrote this macro is does it contain any logical bombs in that or not? Because see, there might be cases where you might see that person might write, okay, if on so and so date, if a person clicks on so and so activity, this particular malware should get executed. Either entire thing should get erased or entire thing should get encrypted. That's how the macros work, right? You're giving access. So always ensure that the macros are disabled, right? Especially disabled at the level of your email firewalls, right? Always, if you're going for an audit, check at email level. If it is an email level, check for the following things. Like for example, in the firewall, email firewall, have we disabled macros related to the macros? If it is from unknown source, macros have to be disabled always. The email has to be dropped then and there. It should not come inside to the organization. If it is a known source, it should be blocked and it should be reviewed by information security team or your SOC team, and then it should be released, right? He will be checking with you. Okay, I have received a so and so email. Whether do you think that this is a legitimate email or not? If he says yes, then you need to review it. What is there in that? Okay, and then you can allow it. See, we never knew that when you are receiving an email, the party who has sent to you, he might be genuine, but he may have been hacked. You never knew what has happened to him. It is always suggestible to ask your SOC team to review it, right? That is one. Second thing, we call it as end user application programming. That is end users. For example, I have a lot of data to read every day. I cannot, keep on writing things. So what I'll do, I prepare a Visual Basic Studio that we have a macro. I'll write a small macro where if I just type one particular thing, automatically recording will happen or automatically the files will get executed, right? That's what we write. But when we write a program, we forget that we are calling such a few libraries. And there are cases where people, copy and paste from the code from the Google, and we never knew the risk in copying and pasting a program into your systems, right? So always ensure that the program, whatever you are executing it, please test it in your personal laptop and send it to your information security team. Ask them to get it reviewed first. If they say, okay, this is fine, then you bring it, then you bring it to your laptop or on your official laptop, and then you start doing a test, right? Please ensure that if your company is using macros, get it approved or get it reviewed by your information security teams. User application hardening, always ensure that you have accountability is there for that, so that nobody, segregation of duties are there, so that nobody can just go and click everything, right? So that should be there. Then coming to the next segment, limit the extent of cybersecurity incidents, right? Limiting the incidents. Even though someone has came into your organization, but he's still not able to access things. The reason is you have restricted the least known, that's what we call it as least privilege accesses, right? You're not letting him to execute the software. If you're an administrator, definitely, if you've been hacked, he can easily, execute a malware. But if you're not a administrator, then it is very difficult to execute a software in your system, right? That's what we call it as least privilege access or restrictive the administrative privileges. Then second, patching your operating systems. If you have Windows 7, please upgrade to Windows 8 or Windows 10 and above. Okay, we are getting even Windows 11 as well. So always ensure that every Tuesday, if you visit the Microsoft website or any other website, you would be getting, in Microsoft especially, you would be getting Tuesday patches or something. Always up to keep your systems up to date. Check what is the latest patches that are being upgraded. Check what is the critical timelines that they have given. If it is a critical patch, within how many hours they are updating it, check that. High, medium, low. So as an auditor, when you go and see, these three should be there. If it is high, within how many minutes, how many hours they have uploaded it, within how many hours they have patched the systems. If it is low, within how many hours they have patched the system. So these things you can check that. Multi-factor authentication. See, we are sitting at home, we are using a lot of VPNs and everything, right? And VPN, okay, you say, okay, username and password is given. That's fine. But what if you've been hacked, right? So for that, what we need to do is we need to have a multi-factor authentication. Either on the mobile phone you get an OTP, or on your email, right? Now these days, Google or Microsoft or Amazon, they're giving their own security OTPs, right? They're generating the algorithms and they're giving it to you. So try to utilize that, right? Then recover data systems availability. If you're being hacked or anything, ensure that the daily backups are there, right? This is very important. As an auditor, we need to check what is the daily backups that are happening. Is it an incremental, or how the incremental, just use a basic concept called son, father, grandfather, right? Son is daily, grandfather is, son is daily backup, father is weekly backup, grandfather is monthly backup. Remember these three steps. Check whether these three backups are happening on regular basis, and do a regular test on a quarterly basis or something. As an auditor, just check with them restoration, how the restorations are happening on a particular day, or check with them whether the rest or that particular data is getting restored or not, right? This should be taken care. Okay, let's get into a deep fake. I guess I have only 10 minutes left, so let me slide to as fast as possible. So live in a fantasy world of illusions, where the greatest task in life is to identify the reality. And this is really a good quote. Why I have taken is, we receive a lot of WhatsApp messages, or we see news, everything. We see, okay, what we see is what we believe, that we think that is reality. No, that's an illusion. You have to check. The difficulty in life is always to find a reality. You have to go and research yourself whether whatever we receive in WhatsApp is true or not. You need to get into Google, or you need to call a person and check. You have to do that research, right? So what is a deepfake? See, deepfake is actually a synthetic media, I can say. These days, what is happening is, a deep learning, that artificial intelligence and using somebody's face, adding that. This is what deepfake is all about, right? I can just be as somebody else. I can impersonate somebody else. If I have, since Instagram and you have Instagram, you have Facebook, you have Snapchat, all these things are capturing your images, your videos, right? So those are capturing your facial expressions in that. The more number of videos and pictures and the facial expressions I have, the better I can put I can create a deepfake of yours, right? So what is a misinformation? Unintentional mistakes such as inaccurate photo captions, dates, and statistics when a satire is taken seriously. So that is a misinformation. You have malinformation, that is deliberately publications of private informations or on a public interest you take. When we combine these both, that's where the disinformation is being created. You can fabricate a particular information or you can manipulate that. Like for example, I can take you through this guy. He's a very famous TikToker. His name is Mark, who has been doing a lot of TikTok videos, acting as a Tom Cruise, right? Okay, and there are a couple of softwares like Reface is the one we have been using a lot. You might have seen, like a Iron Man or like a Pirates of Caribbean, Jack Sparrow kind of thing, where we can put our face into it, right? And that's what AI powered apps are, right? And MyHeritage, Zao, FaceApp is where you can become you can become a baby face, you can become an old man's face. That's what they do. Then you have Deeparts, Wombo. There are different kinds of softwares available in the market, right? Then we have a particular video I have created. You can just have a look. This is from a Forrest Gump. If you have watched the movie Forrest Gump, the actual actor is Tom Hanks, but I have just added the face of John Travolta. So you can see here, instead of Tom Hanks running, you can see John Travolta running into the field, right? So this is what it is. So it works on encoder. So I would bring in a level, I would narrow that particular images, and then I would add the particular image of a person who I want to impersonate, and then I would decode it. So that's how I've removed the image of Tom Hanks and I've added the image of John Travolta, where it makes very realistically look like John Travolta is running. Actually, it is Tom Hanks who is running there, right? There are a couple of examples where you can see, North Korean leader giving a speech on democracy, and or you can see Elon Musk joining on, on a particular Zoom call where he acted as. This is actually not. He's not a Elon Musk. This is somebody else who has created a a software called Avatar. That's a software that you can install and you can put it in Zoom calls. I've tried that. If this was a Zoom call, definitely I would have logged in as Elon Musk or Einstein. All these things can happen in Zoom now. So he has fooled people by logging in as Elon Musk. So that's what deepfakes are, and we have to be very careful when deepfakes are happening. In real life, this has happened in UK. One of the CEO got fished. A Hungarian guy called called a CEO, and he spoke like to his CFO, and he spoke exactly like the CEO of the company. The way he has done that, the other person, he believed that the CEO himself has called him and he has asked the money, and this guy has sent the money to him. So there was a loss of 200,000 pounds. That the person has given. He was so clear that the accent of the CEO was similar to the one what he had. So just imagine how a deepfake can be in your voice and as well as in your face, your expressions, everything can be made now, right? So please be careful. Whatever, if you receive a phone call or if you receive any or a video from someone, please be careful. Do a small research for yourself so that you can be safe, right? How can you spot a deepfake? There are a couple of areas. Number one, someone is blinking too much. There is no, their eyebrows are not working properly. They are not matching to their face, and their skin looks very airbrushed, or there are too many wrinkles, right? And the reflection, that is most important. If the person has glasses, it is very difficult to do a deep fake. Always understand, if there is a glass somebody is wearing, it is very difficult to do a deep fake. You can easily identify that it is a deep fake, right? Someone voice is not matching, like for example I have shown Elon Musk. I would suggest that go to YouTube, you will find that. Since I don't have time here, that's the reason I'm just skipping through, right? And dark web, let me jump through dark web directly. What you have internet is called as common web, where we have Google and everything. It is 4% of your exact internet, right? And this is under government's surveillance. Whatever you do, the government knows it, right? And then we have verge level. Then level 3 is your deep web, okay? Then you have charter web, level 4. Then you have Marinas web. Then you have fog, level 6 and 8. They speak on fog and virus. Then pre-merge system is the quantum systems. You have something called quantum systems, which is impossible to access these systems, right? So this is the 96% of web which we cannot see or cannot access, right? This is a dark web concept, okay? So you can access level 1, level 2, level 0, level 1 and level 2 can be accessed by us somehow, through Google and everything. But when you're going into level 3, you need to have a separate software for that. That's what we call it as Tor, right? So timeline of dark web, in 2002, it was being developed by US Naval Research Laboratory for the privacy purpose, and actually this is Tor is a non-profit organization. And 2009, Satoshi Nakamoto is the one who has started Bitcoin. And 2011, Skill Road, the market was launched. This market, before it went down, they earned around more than $1 billion, And there are other market they have started recently, and they're earning like anything. So I'm just skipping it through as fast as I can because I have only 2 minutes of time. Surface web, that is level 1. This is Google and does not require any special softwares, anything. I can just access it. Couple of nations, they are not able to log in it, like China and Egypt. So for them, they have something called bridge web through, like VPN and everything. To illegal means, they log in into Google, Facebook, and everything. They can access other, sites and all, right? To download your torrents, movies, and all, you use bridge web. That's what it is. Then comes your deep web or dark web, I can say. These are not indexed. So for this, what you need to do, you need to download a proxy website called Tor, that is the Onion router, right? And through this Onion router, you would log in into the level 3, where you have information related to the government, researchers, what happened in World War II, all these things, researchers you will find there, and illegal contents you will be able to see, and hackers, virus information, virus tools, all these things are available there. Please understand, whatever I'm telling you, it is completely for education purpose. Okay, please, this is completely for education purpose. Okay, then there is charter web. This is the next level, where it is a bit difficult to get into it, but you can get it. This is where government high-end research programs are happening, and you can hire drugs, you can hire arms, human, bounty hunters, everything you can find in level 4. Always understand, if you're getting into into dark web, never use your systems directly. Do not log in directly. Do not click on link directly from your browser. Install Tor in your personal system, and please ensure that be careful whenever you're using Tor. Do not click any link, whatever you see, because if you click on those links, your webcam will be opened, and you are easily being caught. Okay, always be careful. Now there is next level, that is level 5, Marinas web. That's where it is believed that Julian Assange and other WikiLeaks top members have access to this. This is named after a Spanish technician who created it, Marinas, right? It is extremely difficult to access, and this is the safest part of internet, and how, because of its privacy. right? That's the reason Julian Assange or the other WikiLeaks members have access to this. Then come to 6 and 8. Mostly this is conspiracy theories. They have a chain firewall to prevent people from going further. And at level 6, then they have level 7. This is a fork where I can say before having a prime mark, that's our quantum computer. Before getting into it, this particular level contains full of viruses. Okay, it is extremely dangerous and very difficult to log in. Okay, then you have level 8, which is prime arc. This is claimed to be controlled by extremely powerful AI, right? You know, these are accessed through the quantum computers, right? These are the total 8 levels we have across the organized, across the web. Okay, and just let me show you how the actual access happens. So you're sitting at home, then there are a couple of routers across the world. These are the onion routers. So it is not directly that you will log in into the systems. So the network hops across the globe, right? And then you will reach to the Tor. That's how the Tor works, right? And coming to my final slide, cyber hygiene. Please ensure that you have downloaded your antivirus software and it is completely up to date. Thumb rule, always ensure never tap on any links or unsociated emails. Be in the know, research and educate yourself. You're the CISO of your home. Since you're working from home, you're the CISO of your home. Please check the URLs or anything if you're clicking twice and thrice. Okay, do not log in into dark web directly from your network or from your browser. Okay, be always safe when you're surfing. Encrypt your files. Okay, always encrypt your files. Be unique. Do not reuse your passwords and other devices. Okay, please have a complex password. All your passwords, simple passwords are available in your internet. Please understand that. Have a complex passwords with you to avoid getting hacked or compromised. Thank you. These are the couple of references you can just check, for the getting the information. Okay. Any queries? You can send me an email, or you can check. You can send it to Mr. Amal. He can forward to me. Thank you guys. Thank you all. Anything if you have, please do let me know. I can speak out.
Amal, so you're muted. Amal, sir, we can't hear you because you are muted. You have to unmute yourself.
So a lot of thanks to you, Vasanth. Right now, just give us 2 minutes time, Vasanth. We have a quick poll by we have few questions. The poll will be conducted by our IIA. Mehnaz will conduct it. After that, we'll give a formal vote of thanks and thanks. Please answer. Okay. Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir, we are done collecting the responses.
Thank you. A lot of thanks to you, Basant. And only one problem is that because shortage of time, could not conduct the question answer session. So my request to all of you that in case you have any question, kindly drop to me, Menas, or our I things wherever you got the link. So we will get the answer and then we will send it to you. And to our speaker, it was such a wonderful session because everybody we are worried. I think today we got a lot of answers to our questions, and because this program it will be, I feel it will be slightly longer. We could have spent more time on this last two part, but still, if you really want, as per our feedback, if you give feedback, we will have the similar program once again. And my heartfelt thanks to all of you, those who attended, to our speaker, he's a wonderful speaker, and to our IIA, Amena, Chanchal, and our entire IIA team for actually organizing this. My thanks to our BOGs of our Bangalore chapter for giving me the opportunity to conduct this program. And last, the speaker, you are a wonderful speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amalji.
Thank you, Basan. And Basan, only one thing: if you might have to oblige once or twice more because there are a lot of things we need to know from you, and then in that scenario, we'll definitely come back. Okay.
Yeah, this time I'll bring something new, and you will really enjoy that on the dark side and the deepfakes. And apart from that, something else I'll bring. Definitely, given a chance.
And next time we will have little more time and we'll have little bit of actually basically interactive sessions so that our participants can also interact with us. Okay. Okay. Actually, over to Menas. Thank you very much. It's a beautiful. You have done really very good organizing this program. And thanks all.
You, sir.
Thanks. Bye. Hello. Oh.